We're all familiar with the sound of a smoke alarm, that high-pitched tone that certainly gets our attention any time of the day. Even when we're sleeping, it wakes us up and sends us a message that danger lurks. There's smoke present somewhere, potentially fire. Get up, get out of bed, get out of the room, get out of the building, get to safety. But a number of years ago, researchers found that while that high-pitched tone works for adults in waking them up in the middle of the night, it doesn't necessarily wake children up as effectively. So they decided to create a smoke alarm that would have the sound of a parent, a mother, calling out a child's name. And so there'd be a smoke alarm in the child's room, specifically a smoke alarm that would call the child's name if it was activated. And researchers found in October of 2018, they did a study that was published in the Journal of Pediatrics, and they found that children who were sleeping were about 3 times more likely to be awakened by the sound of a smoke alarm which had the mother calling their name, as opposed to the classic high-pitched sound of the smoke alarm. And the reason why I mention this is that a name is so incredibly important when it comes to saving us as children waking up in the middle of the night, being called that way by our mother. But the Baal Shem Tov points out, as we all know, that to wake a person up, probably the most effective way is to call their name. And the Baal Shem Tov says this because it's a way to connect with a person on a deeper level. We have 2 ways to connect, a physical way and a spiritual way. The physical way that we connect with a person is back, remember the times when we would meet people and we would shake their hand before COVID. Hopefully we'll go back to doing that. Right now, many people just give the elbow, but there's something about that physical connection. When we touch someone, it's as if our energy touches their energy. So there's that physical bond that connects the 2 of us. And the Baal Shem Tov explains that on a deeper level, there's also a spiritual connection that we can attain. But the way that we attain that spiritual connection with someone else is by virtue of calling them their name. Because when we call them by their name, by their Jewish name, we're touching something inside of them. We're calling their neshama. We're calling their soul. And so as we call their soul, we connect on a very deep level with their spiritual side. Chazal, our rabbis, tell us that the Jewish people in Mitzrayim, one of the reasons why they were able to sustain, to survive in a society which was so incredibly impure, so absent of morality, of values, was because of the fact that the Jewish people did not change their names. They called each other by the names that were given to them by their parents, and this sustained them. It reminded them who they really were inside, that although they were surrounded by all of this tumah, by all of this impurity, the inside, the core, the neshama, the soul, could never be tainted. And so the Baal Shem Tov says, we don't take a name lightly. When we want to connect to someone spiritually, we connect by calling them by their name. And so we should step back and focus on our names, on the names of our spouses, of our children, of our friends, and realize that when we're saying someone's name, we're really trying to connect with them on a deeper level and be in touch with their soul. Just as the Jewish people in Mitzrayim were able to sustain with all the challenges they went through by virtue of valuing and realizing the specialness and uniqueness of their name, reminding them of the expectation of Hashem had of them, so too when it comes to us and the various challenges that we go through in the society in which we live, by reminding ourselves of our name, of the name of others, by connecting to one's neshama, by virtue of recalling our name, we are able to protect ourselves and give ourselves a sense of spiritual sustenance that will be certain to keep us on the right path, even when we have those difficult challenges in the world in which we live. So let us continue to value our Shmos, our names, as the Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people, did in Mitzrayim, so that we can survive and thrive spiritually by virtue of the uniqueness and the beauty of our names. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.